So we're going to do a little update here on just some things that have come out this week. We've got a couple new features and things for you guys to be able to utilize. I'm going to go ahead and go into a sub account. A lot of what we've been doing, because as people have been migrating over into version 3, a lot of people have been going pretty hard at the dashboards, building out dashboards, testing dashboards, etc. And there's a few features on here that people might not know exist. And then there's some that are brand new. And so we're going to go through those just so you guys can see them. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these widget types. Some might not know this because I don't pull the data in anywhere really obvious, but when you connect your Go High Level account into Consolidated, it pulls in a call report and it'll pull in the users, etc. And the reason why it does that is so you can see how many calls they've made, how many, how long those calls were. It allows you to track performance of your salespeople, etc. And so one of the ways that you do that is you click here on widget, and then you see where it says widgets, and you can see call report. And you click on this, you can drag this out, and it's going to go through and it's pulling this right out of your Go High Level account. So I don't have any named users in the Go High Level account that's attached to this, but as your users go in, you'll be able to see how many calls went out, how many calls were in, how many were answered, what the talk time and duration was. Nice thing about this is that if you are wanting to see like which callers are the highest performers, etc., you can see all that right within here. So this is kind of a nice thing to be able to add into a dashboard. But next, I want to show you guys a new tool that we have in here called Manual Sources. The way Manual Sources works is there's marketing that people use that might have absolutely nothing to do with digital. And they might be spending a monthly recurring spend on it, or maybe it's a one-time thing. Maybe you've got customers that ran an ad in the paper and they want to see how it does. So that ad will typically have a specific phone number or something that allows you to track the call to action to know that the source of that came from that ad, at least it should. And so what you would want to do is set up and say in your Go High Level that if this has this, to apply a tag to a lead. So for instance, if they call from this phone number, add the tag newspaper. And then you would know, or change the source to newspaper. And then you would know, hey, this lead came from the newspaper. But then how do you track the cost per lead, cost per conversion, etc.? That's what this tool here allows you to do with Manual Sources. So let's set one up. So you would click on this, and let's just say that you run a newspaper ad and you are wanting to measure the results of this. So let's just put on here print. And then let's say that that newspaper ad cost me $750. It's just a one-time spend. And so I'm going to say that this newspaper is going to be going live. We'll just say from here to here. And what is the thing that will let me know that that lead came from there? I could type in, say, newspaper and put that in. And now if the source matches newspaper, it'll track that lead and will show up in the table. So I'll go ahead here, hit create source. And now you can see that we have just launched a new campaign, newspaper ad, $750. And now as leads come in, it's going to give us our cost per lead. As status is changed to 1, it'll allow us to track how many deals came from that. Here's an example of how this could be used. Doug, he has a data company and they run campaigns for people, or they help people run print campaigns. So let's say they want to be able to track what the cost of the postage was, the data, all of that stuff. So let's just say all in, they're at $3,300 and they run a one-time campaign and they say that this cost us $3,300 to run. The thing is that they might only measure that over the next 30 days, but what if leads are coming in from that mailer from people who put it up on the refrigerator or stuff like this? This will continue to allow them to track this over time. So that way, as leads are coming in, they'll be able to see in here, okay, that's how that attribution got added. Now, this is a cool feature to have if they're logging into Consolidated and seeing it. But what if you're wanting to put this into a dashboard so that way you can maybe put it as a custom menu link inside of Go High Level? That's where you can go over here, click on this, and over here under widgets, I'm just going to bring this. Under widgets, you've got this one here that says Manual Sources. So this is going to populate here. We'll drag this out, and then I can choose in this gear wheel which sources I want them to see. So if I only wanted them to see the newspaper ad, then I can go like this, create a newspaper ad campaign, and call that a day. Now, so one thing that not a lot of people, I guess I didn't do a good job promoting this, but one thing that we now have in here, in Save Dashboard, is you can now create multiple pages inside of a dashboard. So like, for instance, if I wanted to put a page here, and we'll call this one digital marketing. And then I'm going to do another page called offline marketing. And I save that. I could then remove this because that's the digital marketing one. I could have an offline marketing page, throw this in here and save this. And now you can start, pulling out data this way. Now, what you could also do is put in a couple number charts. Let's do a little maneuvering here. I personally really like the new dashboard builder. The drag and drop and all that. I know it's been a little, we've been working the kinks and the bugs out of it, but now I can go over here choose a primary data source, and I could either choose manual sources, and I could put, anything from here. I could put, leads, cost per leads, etc. The other thing that I could do is go into contacts, and I could filter by just specific sources that I've added in here, or for specific tags, and I could create my entire dashboard for my offline contacts over here, and then I can put my digital marketing contacts. So neat stuff, cool stuff for us to be able to add in there. I also, while we're in the dashboard editor, I do want to show you guys how to use the new KPI tracker or custom KPI builder. So right now, the way that we have this set up is that you can create some different metrics. So like, let's just say we put our total number of leads in here. So I have all contacts, and then I'm going to add that, and now it's up in here. Now, what if I want to do all contacts that have a specific filter? For instance, Sherry, you have to remind me, how do you do a filter by a status?
Via stats?
By stats, yeah. Like woman. Is that something that I've overlooked that we need to add?
We need to add that. We can only do it from the primary data source, not yet.
Okay, so for now, to give this example, I'll do it for appointments, but we'll end up
Mm,
having to change this. So if I were to go appointments and then my total contacts, or we have to add that in there, then I can go in this. I could put, divide this by this, and then we could put, multiply it by 100, and then we'll just call this booking rate
mm.
in
So
the icon.
now we don't need to add the parenthesis when getting the booking rate or the conversion rate.
That's a great question, Sherry. Either way, it
Mm,
might put it in a decimal format, so I might have to still add a parenthesis in here. It's a great question.
mm,
Uh, we don't have a lot of appointments booked on this. That we might have zero booked, but
mm.
that are in here. But in this particular sub account, so the booking rate would be zero. And
Okay.
then if you're wanting to put a percentage after this, you would just, like this, and call it a day. So then that would give you your booking rate. But that's how you use this new custom KPI tool, is that you can pull in the sources over here, you name it down here, and then you can kind of play with this calculator, such as this. Let's see, what else did we add in here that's new? Dashboard planner is still being finished up. Let's see here. That might have been it for this week, because we've mainly been doing bug fixes on the dashboard this week. Spent a lot of time. Oh no, actually there are a couple new things. So inside here, you'll notice that you can now add in OpenAI and Claude as a data source. If your customers use OpenAI and Claude as a data source, it will allow them to it will automatically use theirs for bots. So what you're going to see happen over the next week is you're going to have a something that pops up inside your agency settings where you're going to be able to turn on and off the integrations that they have available to them. Some integrations might not even make sense for them. And the idea behind this is that some people said, hey, I don't want my clients to use my OpenAI account. I just want them to be able to use theirs for their AI bot. And if that's how your customers are, that's totally fine. They can use now OpenAI or Claude, either one of them, which is pretty cool because before we only had OpenAI as an option for them. And if they add that, it is by default going to use for the AI bots, it's by default going to use the Anthropic or not Anthropic, it's going to by default use their AI account for the bots. So that's a new feature for you guys as well. Oh, we did also add a new source this week. We got Google Sheets Live. That actually wasn't even properly set up on our last on Consolidated V2. So you can now connect your Google Sheets account into here also. Let's see here, put in a ticket for Frakes for turning the support chat off. Actually, you already should be able to turn the support chat off. I'll show you how. So the way that you turn a support chat off is click on support, you click on settings, and then you can go over here and turn this off, save settings, and then should turn it off in the sub accounts. It might not turn off your agency one here. And also you would probably want to view it not as you, but view it as a sub account user because you're going to see a support chat because we're supporting you. Try to log in as them, not as you, and see if that does the trick for you. If not, let me know. But that should do the trick. I think that only is that way if you're logging in as an agency because you still need the support. So that's why we have to set up that way. I'd like to ask here just to, well, before I do, I'll share with you guys what you're going to see coming over the next week or so because we got some neat things. Phone calls are going to be coming. If you haven't submitted your brand yet, please do. In order to submit a brand, you do need to get a phone number. So I'll just walk you guys through that process. But our A2P approvals are pretty darn quick. So you go over here, you type on phone numbers. You're going to want to buy a phone number. That's just going to take like $3 worth of credits from you. It's not much. And then you go over to your A2P compliance and you're going to register your brand and create your campaign and you submit that. Once that's approved, you'll be able to use it for texting. But the other thing is over the next week, we have our new voice bots coming. And we also have phone calls coming where you'll be able to make phone calls through the platform and a power dialer will be in here soon. So you'll be able to have all of that set up in here. Really neat. So and our voice bots will do outbound calls as well, which is awesome. So make sure that you go ahead and get your phone number and stuff like that set up because this is something that you're going to want to participate in and take advantage of. Let's see here. Well, I'd like to open it up to you guys now, do a little bit of Q&A if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, feature requests.
I have someone who asked Ross about integrating with enrichment, but I tried searching it online. I don't know if it's a platform or a CRM.
Yeah, no, I'll show you. We already, it's no, what he's asking probably is can he integrate with our data enrichment?
Oh, okay.
So if you go over here under APIs,
Mm-hmm.
we have recently redone our API section this past week. I actually redid all this. So you can create an API and then you've got documentation over here. So you've got your endpoints. And if you're wanting to do data enrichment, it gives you the documentation that you can use. So that way you can submit partial data, like you could submit a phone number or an email. And if we can find them in our system,
Mm-hmm.
then we will return the data here. In order for this to work, you do have to have credits in your account, and it
Oh,
will
okay.
only deduct the credits if it actually enriches the data.
I see. So that basically the credits that they have, they can use it for um GMB and then
Yeah,
identity resolution, and then the API access.
exactly. And I'll give you an example. Let's say they want to build their own software around data
Mm-hmm.
enrichment. And so they're in Lovable and they're building a
Mm-hmm.
software and they want to pull from our API for data enrichment. They can pull from our API now for data enrichment, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Oh, Dog, this is related to your question about Web Builder. He's asking about the feature for Web Builder. And then how about for cold email? Do we need credits for that as well?
We don't even have cold email in here right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw that in the help.
This one, yeah,
Is
in
yeah,
help.
so I was reading that, and one thing in the enrichment function, I think I may have a tick in it for this. Maybe for you guys, I might be doing it wrong, but it says in the help section you can go into contacts and click either one or multiple ones, and then enrich inside the contacts section. But I tried and wasn't able to do it inside there, and I didn't see a function like you could upload under the enrichment tab itself. I didn't see where you can upload anything in the enrichment. If you have 100 or 500 data points you want to put in.
Yeah, well, I don't think we have an upload just yet, but that is a good function, a good feature request. I like the idea of it. I don't have it yet, but uploading a CSV and matching data and getting us to enrich what we can of it, that sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I see the workaround is just using the contacts function, but I wasn't able to figure out, if I'm doing something wrong. But it says, at least in your help article, you should be able to just go into contacts and click one or several, like all of them, and then hit enrichment. But I wasn't able to do that.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it either. Good find. We'll have to get that fixed. We'll get that fixed for you.
Okay. Yeah, there's a
That might
report
even be something
in for
people want
that,
to
but
automatically add,
yeah, yeah, that's one of I think 4 or 5 that I think you're still looking at or working on.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Otherwise, things are starting to come along pretty good. I feel like we're starting to get there. Yeah, we still got a little ways to go to where I'm satisfied, but I feel like we're starting to get there. We definitely have more going on right now than what we had on version 2 and more options and things available to people, which is nice.